I am hoping that you are having a peaceful, prayerful, reflective Christmas. I'm not sure what a Merry Christmas is anymore, but it's the day after Christmas, and maybe some of you have had too much of church, but you tuned in, so thank you. It's an important feast day in the Catholic calendar. It's the Feast of the Holy Family. Yesterday we celebrated the birth of a family, the birth of Jesus making us a family, as well as a family of Mary and Joseph. Now today, it moves ahead quite a bit. It's Jesus being found in the temple as an experience of being lost and found. Luke's gospel has a lot of lost and found in it, and this is the first one. It's the prodigal son who was lost and found, and Zacchaeus who was lost and now has been found. That's a big theme for Luke's gospel. It's a wonderful way to look at Jesus as finder. But now Jesus is in the temple, this is 12 years later, and in the theology of Luke, he is the new temple, will be the new temple. So it's the first time we see him taking his place in the temple. So that's really, and there's some beautiful readings. You have a lot of optional readings for this feast, all celebrating living together. And it's a real encouragement for happy Christian families. How to live with each other. Living with each other, of course, as you who are married or living with other people, relationships cause tension. I don't know if that's new to you, but it's probably not. Tensions are always caused because I have my ways, and you have your ways, and you have your ideas. And maybe you experience that in setting up the Christmas tree, or decorations, or what shall we have for dinner. Relationships cause tension. And living with them, perhaps, is what holiness is. When they talk about the Holy Family, it's how did Mary and Joseph reverence the relationship they had with Jesus and search for 3 days to find him? Never expecting that he would be in the temple, and certainly not expecting him that he was teaching and the doctors of the law were listening to him. Tension and holiness. Might they be together? How I live with the tensions of faith, hope, and love. How I live in reverence, in the reading from Sirach. Live with the reverence that children are to have for their parents and parents for the children. How to live with tension might be holiness. And how important is it that I get my way? And there'll be no tensions. If everybody did it my way, there'd be no tensions. Yes, there would. You know why? Because every relationship causes tension, even the relationship I have with myself, and even the relationship that God has with me. Jesus put Mary and Joseph in tension many times in his life and at the cross. Jesus put us all in tension. And how we live with that will be how we are in the holy family of humanity, in the holy family of the church, in the holy family of our families of origin, our families of commitment, in our communities, and in living with myself. Holiness isn't something we do. Holiness is some union that I have with God and myself. Maybe it's this way, the holiness of God is the unity that he we call him the unity of godliness. And our happiness and our holiness is about being in union with each other. Even if your way is different from mine, I want to be in union with you more than that I do it my way. That might be what holiness is. And so mothers and fathers have to sacrifice their own way so often. And with what spirit they do it is how much are they willing to rather experience the union within the family than the union that they have with their own wills, their own egos. And we all have stories about the sacrifices of love that our parents made for us. Oh my gosh. That would be a great prayer today. What did my parents, how did they experience the union within themselves so that they could let me storm around my ways and demand and stamp my foot and cry and beg and rebel? They lived with it because the union between themselves and among the others, including me, that union was more important than rigidity or definiteness or control. So maybe we're watching Mary and Joseph find Jesus, and he went down and lived peacefully with them and grew in awareness of who he was. I was asked last night at a dinner by a first grader. Can you imagine this? A first grader at a Catholic grade school. When Jesus was in the manger, did he know he was God? Isn't that an insightful question? I just wanted to hug him. When did Jesus know he was the Son of God? You know, he grew that way because of the union maybe between Mary and Joseph. He experienced the holiness, the simplicity, the surrender and sacrifice that eventually allowed Jesus to leave home. In the Hebrew Scriptures, family unity was everything. Reverence of the Father especially was so expressive of the union and reverence for God. Well, Jesus lived that obediently and lived that obedience to the law, to his parents, to his own calling and union with his Father. So it's a day to pray with the holiness of our families, of our communities, of our relationships, and the holiness and peacefulness that will come from letting go of the demand that everything go my way. Mary did not live my way. And Jesus lived the Father's way. And that's what we receive and celebrate on this wonderful feast of our Holy Family with God as Father.